Returning to the biggest news story of the day, Joe Biden's unprecedented exit from the presidential race. For more on this and what it means for both the Democrat and Republican campaigns, I'm joined now from Washington by Chief International Correspondent for The Australian, Cameron Stewart. Well, Cam, they had to blast him out in the end, didn't they? I mean, he lost the support of people like Chuck Schumer, Pelosi, Obama, all those others. So it was inevitable he had to go, but it's taken a bit of time. How's the news of Biden's departure from the race been received?
Well, it's strange, Peter, because even though I think a lot of people were expecting it was going to happen, it still came as a huge shock to a lot of people across America, certainly in Washington. It was a sunny, quiet Sunday afternoon, and the bombshell tweet from the president came at about 1:45, and the whole place just went frenetic as people try to work out exactly what it means. I think people were expecting it in the next week or so because, as you say, the writing was on the for Joe Biden. At the moment, the party elders in Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, etc., did coordinated media leaks to make it very public that they had told Joe he should go. That was the end of him. It was just a case of when, because clearly he could not run without the support of his own party. But it's such a seismic and historic moment that people were still stunned when it actually happened.
Well, it took a while in his departure statement to endorse his vice president. He got there in the end, and now we've seen a whole raft of others who might well have been potential challengers to Harris come out and support her. Californian Governor Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg, the current Transport Secretary, they're all backing her, which sort of says to me this has all been going on in the background for some time. We've not yet heard from the Obamas. We've got the Clintons, but not the Obamas. What does that tell us?
I think there is a division within the Democrat Party at the moment. Obama and Nancy Pelosi appear to favour an open contest, if you like, a speed dating, rapid-fire contest between candidates to ensure the best one is picked. It's very pointed that Obama did not endorse Kamala Harris, and Pelosi has been reported as thinking that they want an open contest as well. And also Chuck Schumer didn't mention Kamala Harris either. So there is a wing of the Democrat Party, a very powerful wing, that wants an open contest here. And the other half of the Democrat Party wants the party to coalesce quickly around Kamala Harris so there is no friction. They have an appearance of unity. They think that is the best way forward. And what we're actually seeing at this minute unfold is, as you say, really real contenders like Pete Buttigieg, the Transport Secretary, is a very, very good campaigner. You've got Gavin Newsom, the Californian government. Now, they are two of the top three names always mentioned when it comes to candidates, and they've come and endorsed Kamala Harris, so they're not going to run against her, which doesn't leave many high-profile ones. It only leaves really Gretchen Whitmer, who is the very tough-talking Michigan governor, but she has said previously she wouldn't run against Harris. We haven't heard from her so far in relation to since Joe Biden said he'd step aside. So we'll just have to see what happens here. But it might be an open contest where there really isn't much of a contest.
It's interesting. It'll come down to those key swing states. Michigan's one, obviously. Pennsylvania, Ohio. Now, I can't see her having Gavin Newsom on her ticket. That'd be two peak California types on the one ticket. So who do you think will end up her VP in the end?
Look, it could be a range of people. She probably hasn't settled on one herself. I mean, an obvious one would be Josh Shapiro, who's the governor of Pennsylvania, a key swing state, who I know has just endorsed her. I would think a male in the Midwest would be what she'd be looking for to round off her ticket, because Kamala's problem is that she is not popular in the Midwest. I've travelled a lot through there. Bars, cafes, farms, talk to people. They really don't like her. And they don't like her for all the reasons they do like her in the big liberal cities in America. You know, she's a progressive, former prosecutor from California. She's a woman of colour. All those factors that make her very popular in the big cities make her quite unpopular in the Midwest. So I think she would have to find a VP candidate, Peter, who would round her off there, because her biggest challenge would be to win those key swing states in the Midwest, Wisconsin, Michigan and Pennsylvania. That would be Kamala's big challenge as a candidate.
All right, let's assume it is Harris that she gets the Democrat nomination. How does this change things for Trump? Because her record on illegal migration really plays into one of his key attacks against the administration, doesn't it?
It does, and straight away we can see Trump and the Republican machine are very much their tactic is going to be to align Kamala Harris directly with Joe Biden. They'll say, look, the failed policies of Joe Biden are the failed policies of Kamala Harris. If you elect Kamala, you're electing Joe Biden's agenda, and they will point to the border. The border thing. I mean, Joe Biden appointed her to try and reduce some aspects of illegal migration across the border, and the Republicans said that she was effectively a border czar, and that was one of the most, the greatest failure of the Biden administration is the border and the weakness at the border. So, look, that's going to be a problem for her on the campaign trail, absolutely. However, she also has been far more prominent in recent times as an abortion, a pro-choice abortion activist after the Roe versus Wade decision, and she's been quite visible on the hustings doing that. She's been quite effective there, and that's a big vote win for the Democrats. So yes, she certainly has problems as far as the border goes with the Republicans. She's got a bit of a winner with abortion with the Democrats. So it'll be fascinating to see how she actually goes on the campaign trail, because don't forget, she had a disastrous campaign in 2020. I mean, she was seen as one of the big challenges early on. She had the name, she had the reputation, and it was a shambles. Her staff kept quitting on her. She had a very incoherent message. She wasn't a good campaigner. And so she needs to have improved a lot on that 2020 campaign to have any chance against Donald Trump.
Yeah, look, you're right to point out that her lack of message clarity has been a defining feature of her time as VP. That and her record of not resolving any of the chaos on the border. Trump, up until now, well, his age hasn't been an issue. It's been all about Biden's age. She's obviously a much younger candidate. Does his age now come into play from here on in? And 10 days on from his assassination attempt, how much resonance will that have in the campaign going forward?
I think it'll stay, certainly for his base, it'll remain quite a motivator, such an extraordinary moment. And of course, that then supercharged the Republican convention that we just had finished a few days ago. So Trump is absolutely in the ascendant at the moment. He's as strong as he's ever been, really. And in theory, he should, he claims that he could beat Kamala Harris more easily than he could beat Joe Biden. In theory, he has a massive advantage over her. He's cashed up, he's experienced, as I say, is ascendant. At this minute, she only has 3.5 months to find a coherent message, well, to unify her own party, frankly, and then find a coherent message and get herself out there. That's a very, very big call. However, the big thing that we don't know is she is a generational change candidate, as you say. She's not in her 70s. I mean, we're not having two geriatrics fight off for the presidency now. And 70% of Americans said they didn't want another Biden-Trump clash. Now they've got their wish. So what does that mean with the voters? I mean, are there a lot of unknown voters out there who will be so relieved to have a younger candidate that they will flock towards Harris? We just don't know that.
We'll watch it all with interest, won't we? Cameron Stewart, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.